channel, Pretty Inspired Decor. My name is Shelley, and today you are going to have a little bit of fun seeing how we dine al fresco in Canada in summer. Now, our weather this summer has been absolutely glorious. Hot and humid, hardly any rain, which is not good for my garden, so we end up having to water in the evening. And you know, my pots are really not overly happy as well because it has been so hot. But you know what? I love hot weather because we normally do not have, you know, this kind of a glorious summer every single summer. This has really been a particularly good one for those of us who like the heat and the humidity. And of course, we love having our grandbabies here as well and having them dine al fresco with the entire family outside. Now, I'm not going to add, you know, the babies' booster chairs that we also take outside for this tablescape, but rest assured we do have to bring them. You'll notice that our table only has 6 seats, but it's really easy to sort of put the little seats in and sort of around us, and we quite enjoy having them in their little seats, and of course they entertain us immensely. For this particular video, because my sound isn't great when I speak outside, I will be doing sort of a speak over piece, and you will get to watch me put it together. And tonight we're going to have some salmon and some roast vegetables and, you know, a few other little surprises for our little ones. Of course, you're not going to get to see the food because, you know, I'm not that great of a cook, but after all, we do have to eat. So I hope you enjoy. Our outdoor table was purchased at Pier 1 a number of years ago, and I always start my table with some pretty pink placemats, or sometimes green. And then, of course, I add these gorgeous green chargers. I bought them at Crate and Barrel a number of years ago, and when I saw them and they have ruffles on them, I thought, ooh, those have to come home with me. I loved them then, and I still love them now. And of course, they just add just that little extra touch. The dishes, the pink and white ones I bought at the Bay, and the floral ones I bought at Dollarama in Canada. And for those of you who don't know what the Bay is, that is Canada's oldest department store, and they always have lovely, lovely things. The next thing I add, of course, are the salad plates, and you know I like to mix things up. So I have a checkered one, those are from the Bay as well. And then, of course, I have the floral ones that are from Dollarama here in Canada. Pretty little switch up, and I love it. The next thing I add, of course, is the cutlery, and I just use our everyday cutlery for out in the garden to keep it simple. And you'll notice I've not put down any napkins because I just take a napkin holder out and everyone can help themselves. And then the next thing, of course, I added some florals because I think it's important to have some florals on your table. Because this table isn't large, just using little tiny bud vases work beautifully. I think it always looks good to have flowers on the table, don't you? Makes your guests feel more special. And I know that I think it looks better too. I've just added 4, not 1 for every single place setting, and 4 is really enough. Just sort of adds that little extra pop and a little bit of special at the table. How much fun is that? And then, of course, I have to have some place to serve the food, and so this particular cart, tea cart I call it, is where I will have my food. And so I have a tray for the meat that I'll be serving and other bowls as well. And here's the table, just waiting for our children to have a seat. And of course, while we're eating, it's always nice to have this view where we can take a look in our garden and see the flowers that are growing and the butterflies that are flying. And of course, yes, there's our pool and there's our garden hose, because this is realistic. This is what our garden looks like after a day of swimming. And we just watered the plants, and I said to Harold, just leave it be. Let people see how we really live. And look at those canna lilies. Aren't they gorgeous? You're probably surprised that they're not pink. But yes, I do add some yellow into the garden because Harold loves it. And there's our fountain, that glorious, glorious fountain. How much fun is that? It really adds such a nice ambiance to the meal because you hear the gurgling water. And there's a little angel overlooking us. I just adore that garden angel. Once again, look at just the rustling of the leaves in the garden, just a slight breeze on such a hot day. And you know, we spent the afternoon in this pool because that's where we tend to spend most of our time in our yard, is in the pool with the little ones splashing and giggling and having more fun than we could ever hope for. And when they're done, they like to go exploring, and they like to find the angels, and they like to find other little treasures in the garden. Tennyson is always looking for things, and so is our little Ayla. And one of the things that Ayla loves to find is that little garden fairy. She always finds her and points her out. Nana, come and see, she says. And of course, that's my favorite little statue from the book Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. Love that book. And there's our Japanese maple. And of course, I gotta start cooking soon so that we can have dinner. And when dinner is ready, we'll all sit down at this pretty tablescape. I hope that you think it's as pretty as I know that I do. Are you surprised with all of the pinks and the greens and the floral? Yes, this is me. This is our style, and this is how I love to spend our summer evenings. Just a perfect place to sit and relax, to enjoy each other's company, and to have good conversation and a lot of laughter. After all, it's summer in Canada. What a wonderful, wonderful time of the year. I hope that you are finding everything wonderful too. Well, I really hope you enjoyed seeing how I prepare for dining al fresco. I really enjoy having family and friends over for dinner, and you know, in a perfect world, all of you would be able to join me and Harold as well. But as you know, many of you live all over the world, and that would be a tad difficult. So our outside dining, as you saw, was a little more simplified than what I normally do inside. Again, because it is more relaxed and we're really, you know, just chatting and spending a lot of time around the table at the end of the evening. And then if somebody wants to quickly go jump in the pool, because of course, often we're eating in our bathing suits as well. And so jumping into the pool is always an option at the end of the evening. I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do next week. I'm thinking of joining Suli and a couple of other collaborators on something called Sparkle and Shine, but I really am toying between two different ideas, one that would be inside and one that would be outside, and I'm sort of leaning towards doing something outside in a sparkle and shine motif. Tell me what you think. What would you like to see me do? Something inside or outside? Harold and I are going to go on a bit of a vacation with our children and grandchildren this week. Our daughter and son-in-law rented a cottage, and we're going to take the boat up, so we'll be quite busy and otherwise occupied. I hope you are having a wonderful summer. I know COVID has certainly changed the way all of us, are living this summer, but we are trying to make the very best of it. We are remaining healthy. We wear our masks. My goodness, my hands are sore from all the washing, but we are determined to stay safe. We are determined to stay well, and I hope that you are well and that you are safe and that you are having a wonderful summer too. So give this video a thumbs up, leave me a comment, tell me what you think, and of course, subscribe if you have not already done so. Bye-bye. Take care.
Normally I wouldn't be speaking at this point, the music would just be playing, but I thought after editing I would just pop back in because I'm sure you heard our little Tennyson playing in the yard as I was videotaping, and I just couldn't delete the sound of him as he is out busy looking for bunnies in the garden, something he so enjoys, one of the 3 little loves in our life.